the pre-pandemic world. We can build forward to a world that is more resilient, sustainable, and inclusive. We must seize this new Bretton Woods moment. How? I see three imperatives. First, the right economic policies. Strong media.
All right, let's open up the history books. This day, July 22nd, 1944, the 3-week-long Bretton Woods Conference ended with an agreement by 45 nations for unprecedented multilateral economic cooperation, a crucial launching pad for the world's post-war financial prosperity. That conference, held at a somewhat dilapidated estate up in rural New Hampshire that had been mothballed for almost 2 years prior, would make history several times over, particularly for the United States, which leveraged its newfound military dominance into monetary dominance as well. Remember, the U.S. became the world's largest economy all the way back in the 1870s, yet the British pound remained the dominant currency for decades to come. Bretton Woods, it changed all that for good. While best known for creating the International Monetary Fund and the precursor to the World Bank, the conference's lasting legacy has to be the creation of an open, rules-based global trading system underpinned by mechanisms to keep exchange rates stable. That last part is key because it came with a U.S. government pledge to convert the dollar into gold at $35 per ounce as part of that stabilization regime, which by default made the dollar the global monetary standard. Now, that monetary mechanism of Bretton Woods largely dissolved within 25 years when President Nixon suspended the gold convertibility. But the dollar by then had already seized the throne, and even in an unpegged floating rate world, investors, multinational corporations, and governments alike embraced the dollar more than any other currency, which leads us back to the question of the day. What percentage of the world's currency reserves are in dollars? The Bank of International Settlement estimates more than 80% of foreign exchange transactions are in dollars, and the IMF says 59% of global currency reserves are in greenbacks, about 3 times the share of euros. That disparity is more than academic. It gives the U.S. that so-called exorbitant privilege that allows it to set interest rates lower than it might otherwise be and allows the government to fund budget and trade deficits in perpetuity. But of course, nothing ever stays the same, and after 80 years as king of the world, many investors are anticipating a future where the dollar's role is diminished, but that's a question of whether it would happen organically, or do you need another Bretton Woods to shake things up again?
A large and growing number of countries are steaming ahead with development and deployment of central bank digital currencies, and while crypto assets, including stablecoins, have had their ups and downs, they're not going away. The international payments system needs to be improved. We need to make it cheaper, quicker, and easier, so that workers can send home remittances and small businesses can increase their exports. But we must also urgently guard against money laundering and other crimes, including fraud and theft from retail investors. And thinking ahead, we need to ensure that substitution out of weaker currencies doesn't leave monetary authorities unable to fight inflation, promote growth, and maintain financial stability. A stable and resilient international monetary system is core to the IMF's mandate, as is helping our members grow. So we are working to help them seize opportunities and manage risks in several ways. We are offering capacity development to countries considering Cbdc'S and working with partners towards a comprehensive policy framework on crypto assets.
How do you think about so many of the other peers and colleagues of yours in Silicon Valley that seem to have switched gears, if you will, being very vocal in favor of former President Trump?
Look, there's one group of people mostly around the PayPal mafia and crypto. Peter Thiel and his group, the PayPal mafia and crypto, just are fundamentally extreme libertarians. Nothing wrong with that. But crypto is not a thing that you should hang the election on. And frankly, I think Trump can be bought. They gave him enough money and he supported crypto in exchange. That's not how the process should work.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patreon. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you hit the Cash App. Also, make sure you go and follow and like the TikTok. And this movie just keeps getting better and better. While the sheep stay focused on a divide and conquer, Kamala Harris versus Trump are biting out. The NWO is building, working on this new financial system, the new Bretton Woods. And we see the central banks buying up all the gold because they know we're going to be moving over to a new financial system. And that's going to be tokenization, these stable coins, these Cbdc'S. And this is biblical because this money is going to be programmable. Being able to tell you what, when, and how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And they can go right into your wallet and take the money. And eventually we'll have social credit also. And we see what's going on in China. If your credit bad, you're not going to be traveling. Or if you do something wrong against the system, you're going to be automatically penalized. It's not like we can't already see what's going on. It's just the fact that sheep stay distracted on things that don't matter. And like I stated, they're focused on a divide and conquer. Kamala Harris. And we know Kamala Harris has no chance of beating Trump unless they bring in some type of great vice president. But we see the media is 100% behind Kamala Harris. And of course, the money is flowing in that direction also. But don't forget, guys, it doesn't matter who wins, Democrat or Republican. They're going to push the NWO's agenda, and that's the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. That plan is not going to change. But as we get closer to this election, the Hegelian dialectic is going to be stepped up. Trump is a racist, Trump is a criminal, and remember, before he became a politician, everybody loved him. I don't care what color they were. And then when it comes to Kamala, they're going to say she's paid and bought for with her record as a prosecutor. And you guys know I did a video on Steve Mnuchin and Kamala Harris. But again, they're all working together. We know Democrat, Republican, the bird needs both wings in order to fly. And they're going to fly and land us in this fourth industrial revolution. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, the PayPal mafia. They all have the same agenda, this digital economy. And now we have the 25th Amendment keeps coming up. And you know, I've done plenty of videos on it. We know what's coming. But the fact is, guys, don't forget, they need a distraction. They need a crisis. So it's definitely going to be something big during this election period and after. And like I tell you, when you hear the mainstream media say these two words, in history, you know the NWO is behind it. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Yesterday, Elon Musk took to Twitter and said to you, come on, Vinod, Trump, Vance, let's LFG, let's just say, exclamation point, exclamation point. And you took to him and you said, hard for me to support someone who has no values, lies, cheats, rapes, demeans women, hates immigrants like me. He may cut my taxes or reduce some regulation, but there's no reason to accept depravity in his personal values. Do you want a president who will set back climate by a decade in his first year? Do you want his example for your kids as values? Elon went back to you and said he doesn't hate you. In fact, I think he likes you. Meet him and find out for yourself. Would you like to have a meeting with former President Trump?
I have no interest in meeting him. I have made up my mind, so occasionally you do make up your mind. I think his supporting the January 6th and insurrection, trying to violate the democratic process, trying to support Trump, but the 2025 agenda, those are very, very dangerous things. Our institutions are more important than the economy the next 4 years. And then the economy and climate are two really critical issues. But frankly, his values and his support of the insurrection are what completely kills him for me, even if he would have the economy do better, which I don't think is true.
If Joe Biden is unfit to run for re-election, he is unfit to carry out his term. 25th Amendment. Join us now is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, and I've seen some conjecture about that, but it looks unlikely he's going to stick it out. It would be, the whole process gets kind of muddled if we were to see Vice President Harris immediately ascend to the presidency, wouldn't it, Senator?
It would definitely get muddled, but here's the question that needs to be asked. Is a Democrat saying that Joe Biden is unfit to run for office, or are they saying that, or the Democrats saying that he's not able to win? Because if they're saying that he's not able to win, then they're saying that the democracy that they're saying that they're trying to defend doesn't really matter, because there's 14 million Democrats that voted for him in the primary. But if they're saying that he's unfit to run for office, then they, the Democrats, need to be looking at the 25th Amendment, and they need to be honest with the American people. If he's unfit to run for office, then he's unfit to serve while he's in office. And that's why we have a VP, and that's also why we have a 25th Amendment. So it's either or. They can't have both.
Chaos campaign. America tossed into uncertainty we haven't seen since the 1960s.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're going to get more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.